Bonjour et bienvenue dans cette vidéo de travaux dirigés pour une plaquette magique. Cette vidéo, c'est pour les étudiants de français 3. Ok, voici, on y va. Il faut premièrement couper votre papier. Il faut couper 8 fois. Ok, 8 fois. Je vais vous montrer avec mes ciseaux. Je coupe le papier qui est comme ça déjà. 8 fois. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 petits morceaux. Comme ça, 9 morceaux en total. Ok, très bien. Un instant. Ok, so votre plaquette magique doit ressembler comme cela. Voilà, comme cela. Ok? So, if you didn't get all of that first part, what I was telling you was that with your magic foldable here, you want to make sure that you've got 9 spaces to write, 9 rows of writing space, which means that your scissors, you're cutting 8 times, right? Because that final cut that cuts the last piece into 2 makes your 9th piece. On. We are going to be filling in this as basically your ultimate French verb tense study guide. So we've got all these verb tenses up here that we're going to be putting in here. There's only one on this list that we have not yet learned, and that is le subjonctif. That will be coming up in the next section. In our next phase, we'll be learning about the subjonctif and how that is, and it's pretty easy. It's just the using that one that's pretty tricky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off here by making my title page, and then I'm gonna sort of walk you through step by step what we should be putting in each section, and then I'll be giving you a way to sort of check this and make sure that you've got the right stuff. Because we've got so many different verb tenses, and some of them are formed different ways, and they've got different stems and different endings, and it can be really confusing to remember which tense is what and what it means, etc., etc. So our goal with this packet is to hopefully tell you what each verb tense means and how they work and how they're formed, etc. So I've got my little title page here, Ultimate French Conjugation Guide. You can do however you want. If you want to make it artsier, make it artsier. That's great. And now on the inside, as we were cutting, we made 9 spaces. That means we've got 9 spaces of content to fill in. Now we have 6 verb conjugations, right? When we think about each of our verbs, there are 6 different forms that when we conjugate, right? We've got the je form, tu form, il, elle, on, nous, vous, and il, elle, plural. That's going to take up the bottom 6 spaces. The top 3 then are going to be the name of the verb tense. The second one will be how to form it, and then the third line will be how do you use it. Writing spots are, we're using each individual section. So right here is panel 1, panel 2. Into the middle, we go for panel 3 and panel 4. Panel 5 and 6 are on the back, and then remember you can open up the back to make panel 7 and 8. So when I first open up, I'm going to put the present tense in the inside cover here. So there I've got le présent on both sides. So now in the next column, we want to write how we form this verb tense. And on my left-hand column, we're going to keep it simple. We're going to think about our main verbs. So this will be remove, the ending, and add your new ending. And on my right-hand side, this is where I'm going to be putting my irregular, my like big 4 kind of verbs. So we're just going to say irregular, have to memorize. And then the third line down, this is where we're going to put what this tense means. So this is a really good spot to maybe put an example verb. So I eat, I am eating, I do eat. So okay, and then we're just going to go down the side. Je, tu. Remember, il, elle, and on share the same line. Nous, vous, il, elle. Okay, so this is what I've done. A little bit hard to see just because my camera doesn't like to focus on wacky colors but nonetheless. So I put my example here with my sentences, and then I just at the top corner of each side put the subject pronoun. I'm going to do the same thing on this side as well. We've got three types of main verbs in French, or three verb types. We've got the premier group, which is ER verbs, le deuxième groupe, which is IR verbs, and then the troisième groupe, which is all the irregular verbs. We often talk about them as RE verbs because there is sort of like the subset of RE verbs that follow a pattern. So if you want, you can divide this like first column into three different little like sub-columns. Alright, so I've got three Sharpies here with three different colors. So I'm going to do my ER verbs. And if you want on the inside cover, you can write like what the code is. So I'm going to put ER verbs. So I know that in blue, so my ER verb ending that goes with je is E. With two, it's ES. ELL is E. ONS, EZ, ENT. Now, depending on what color paper you use, your blue may look a little bit more black, and that's okay. Next, I'm going to do IR verbs, and I'm going to do those in green. My IR verb endings are IS, IS, IT, ISSONS, ISSEZ, ISSENT. But you can see here sort of what I'm going for, and then in red we'll do RE, which are S, nothing, ONS, EZ, ENT. So now I've got my regular present tense. Okay, an example of an irregular verb, this would be like être, avoir, faire, aller. You have four colors if you're using these four colors like I am, so you can put all four. Alright, so once you've got all four irregular verbs in there, it'll look something like this. Okay, so this then, woohoo, there is my present tense guide. So now I can come here and look and see, okay, ER verbs, you're going to drop the E. The only thing that really isn't in here that you could add on the front cover is that GER and CER verbs, you have to add the extra E and the accent C, and I really easily just added that by drawing a little arrow next to new, and there I did it. Bang, got it. Okay, now I'm going to open up to the inside, and on the inside here, we are going to do the passé composé and the imparfait. Okay, so once you've got your passé composé and imparfait sides done, it's going to be a little bit tricky for you to see this. The imparfait side is simpler because I've just told you how to form it, how to find the stem, and then these are the endings you add. Boom, AIS, AIS, AIT, IONS, IEZ, AIENT. On my passé composé side, to form this, we're either going to use avoir or être, and then our past participle. I use my same coloring code from before to indicate, let's see if I can get this to focus well. ER verbs go with E, IR verbs go with I, and the RE verbs go with U. And then I just gave two examples. I try to use two different colors. I use pens instead of Sharpies. So I did j'ai parlé, tu as parlé, il a parlé, nous avons parlé, vous avez parlé, and ils ont parlé. And then for my être example, I did je suis retourné, tu es retourné, il est retourné, nous sommes retournés, vous êtes retournés, ils sont retournés. And remember that all of these retournés will have a parenthesis E at the end because whomever I'm talking about could be feminine, and that would require me to have the extra E at the end. And then for my three here at the bottom, they also have an S at the end. The vous form has the S in parentheses because if you're being polite and using just one person, talking about one person, you could say vous êtes retourné, and that would be polite, so you wouldn't add the S there. Just remember those Dr. and Mrs. Vanderkamp ones, they do make agreement. So you can unfold here. We're going to head to the back side now to flip it over. On the back, we are going to put two tenses, and we're going to put the two that sort of mesh together similarly in how they're formed. So we're going to do the conditionnel and the futur simple. All right, I have just finished up my futur simple and conditionnel side. So let's just quickly look over this and see what we've got going on. Both of them, for the way they're formed, we're going to use the infinitive stem. So that's really easy. It's just infinitive stem for both. The conditionnel, now I added present to mine because there's also a past conditional, and there's all these different kinds of conditional. What we've learned so far is the present conditional. This means would or could, and it's the future kind of would. right? It's like I would go to the movies, I would do this, I could go here. The like sort of hypothetical. So my endings for that verb tense are AIS, AIS, AIT, IONS, IEZ, AIENT, same as the imparfait. Over here on the future simple side, this is the will verb tense. I will do this. I will go. My endings for this are AI, ASA, ONS, EZ, ONT. I also went ahead and put a little example verb underneath each one. I don't know, you can't really see it in this lighting. But I went ahead and put the verb parler for each one. So the je form would be parlerai, tu parlerais, il, elle, on parlerait, nous parlerions, vous parleriez, and il, elle parlerait. And then I did the same thing, but on the future simple side. So je parlerai, tu parleras, il parlera, nous parlerons, vous parlerez, ils parleront. All right, we are ready to head to the inside back section. So remember, to get here, you have to fold all of the creases the opposite way. So the two that are sticking up have to go down, and the one that's down here at the bottom has to come up. Whoop! And then you've got, boom, your last panel. And in here, we're going to add the future proche really quickly. And we're going to leave a space for le subjonctif. I've got my future proche here, and I've done my subjunctive, but I've left it blank since we have not learned that yet, though we'll be filling in this section in phase 3 in just a few weeks. This is the aller plus infinitive formation, and it's for near future events. This is the I'm going to kind of verb tense, or like he's going to dance, he's going to sing, etc. So in red here, I put all my conjugated forms of the verb aller, because that's the important part that makes the verb tense work, and then I've put my infinitive. So I did je vais finir, tu vas finir, il va finir, nous allons finir, vous allez finir, and ils vont finir. So this is your verb foldable. You can pull this back apart, flip it back over, and now you've got all the verb tenses really that we've learned so far, and a handy dandy study guide for you. And hopefully this will help you remember which verb tenses mean what and how to use what, etc. Alright, merci beaucoup d'avoir regardé cette vidéo. J'espère que vous avez bien appris comment former notre plaquette magique, et je te souhaite une très bonne journée, bonne santé et bonne continuation de la maison.